friends, for today's media demonstration video, I'm going to be talking to you about using oil pastels and a black Prismacolor pencil to finish your leaping dolphin drawing. Remember guys, if you want one of these Arts Hub magnets, all you got to do is like this video on YouTube, but also subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss a video. Share it with your friends, stuff like that. It all makes a huge difference, and that's when I will mail one of these to you with a personal thank you note. Before I can mail it to you though, you've got to let me know, either during class or have your parents email me. One way or another, I need to know that you've been helping me out so I can help you out. All right guys, so for today we're using oil pastels like I mentioned. And before we get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about taking care of your art supplies. So these pastels, Crayola, comes in a box, 28 colors. It's great. But they also are wonderful because they have their own little tray. You see how they're in a tray, they're separated. And when you store your pastels flat and you keep them in the box in between uses, it just keeps them safe. And so that way, when you're ready to use your pastels, they are ready for you. Sometimes people just sort of throw all their art supplies into one giant pile, and then they're frustrated when they can't find their pastels or they can't find their markers. They don't know where their black colored pencil is. So don't do that to yourself, guys. Be prepared for class, and you're going to have a better result and a happier time during the class too. So the black Prismacolor pencil is really important. Now you can use just a black pencil from your colored pencil set if that's what you have. But if you can get one of these and just reserve it just for special times when you're using oil pastel, it's really going to help. Even though we draw with the Sharpie does not work with the oil pastel, meaning you can draw with Sharpie, but once you're done with the drawing, you really need to put the cap on that Sharpie, put it away so it's safe and ready, again, for the next lesson, ready when you're ready. Get yourself some free draw paper as a piece of scrap paper, and I'll just show you what I mean. So this is an older Sharpie, but that's okay. This is just a demonstration. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw two hearts. And I'm going to take a moment, and I am just going to fill these in. And as you can see, a lot of people are like, oh, when I start to use pastels and I can't see my lines anymore. Well, guys, that is sort of just the way it is. It's not a problem. Not a big deal, but when you are working with pastels, you get to mix and blend colors because they're made with oil, right? And so that's pretty awesome. But you got to keep in mind that you have to use the right supplies to finish the drawing. So here are two examples. I like the way they look. You can see that I went over my Sharpie lines a little bit on both sides. Remember, this is an old Sharpie. That's why I'm using it for this demonstration. Some people think they're going to take this and they're going to go over their Sharpie lines and they're going to get all around there. Do you notice how it's not working very well? It's looking kind of gross. It's messing up my Sharpie, guys. My Sharpie's not going to work very well anymore. It's getting drier and drier. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. See what it did there? No good. I'm going to have to throw this one away, guys. That's where the black Prismacolor pencil comes in super handy. So it doesn't have any ink in it, so it's not going to get clogged up with oil. What it does is it actually cuts right through that oil pastel, and it's a very, very black pencil. And so what it does is it helps you show your Sharpie lines off again, but it doesn't get damaged in any way. It's just a pencil. If you use up your pencil and need to sharpen it a little bit, the good news is you can sharpen it and it's going to last a long time. Notice I had to throw that Sharpie away. That was an old one, but it'd be really a bummer to do that with a new Sharpie, guys, or even a good Sharpie. So this is why we use the black colored pencils with the oil pastels. It's really important. Don't mess up your Sharpies. Use a black pencil. It's better. It's better for everybody. Last but not least, use a manual pencil sharpener. I've said this before. I keep on saying it because I don't want anyone to destroy their electric pencil sharpener. The electric pencil sharpener is for a regular pencil. It's made with graphite. Graphite is not going to clog it up. These are made with wax. And when you use a electric pencil sharpener to sharpen a wax colored pencil, the wax fills up the teeth on the inside and it renders it absolutely useless because it just fills up with wax. So don't do that to yourself, guys. This is like 50 cents. Get yourself a manual pencil sharpener. This bowl, I think it's from the dollar store. I think it's like 10 cents. I think I got 10 of these bowls for $1. And this pencil's like $2. Very inexpensive, very effective, a great way to preserve your Sharpies, preserve your electric pencil sharpeners so they can be used for something else on another day. All right, guys, Those things are important, but so is what we're about to do. So as you noticed, I used that piece of scrap paper there to demonstrate how to use the black colored pencil. I'm going to get another piece of scrap paper. You can tell it's scrap. It's got some marks on it, but you know what? That's why it's called scrap paper. So I'm going to do this in time lapse, and then I'll come back and finish up with a short conclusion. Mainly, I wanted to talk to you about the importance of taking care of your supplies, using the right supplies, and making sure that you have the right things for those supplies so that you don't hurt other supplies, which might cost more money. All right, guys, we're going to go right into time lapse, and here we go. Okay guys, so real quick, I just want to mention, so I pressed pretty hard today in terms of how much pressure I used. And you know, when you get your hands dirty from oil pastels, just wash them at the very end. Don't stop and go wash your hands and come back, because I wasn't doing any rubbing today with my fingers, okay? And what I want you to notice here is that I was using different shades of the same colors to sort of mix and blend. So I have oranges, and I have this light yellow in my big sun. I've got purples and pinks in my sky. I've got blues and seafoam greens and darker blues in my water. And even on the Dolphin, in the very beginning, you may have noticed I did a very, very light black just on the bottom. And that was to create a little bit of shading. So when I went over it with that gray, it kind of mixed and blended. If I stopped right now, right here today, yeah, it looks pretty good. But truth is, those Sharpie lines are not as crisp as they should be. And so it's going to look even better when that happens. So guys, I'm going to go back into time lapse. I just wanted to leave you with that information. Don't forget, remember, this is not how you leave your pastels, okay? We'll talk about that again in a few minutes as well. All right, guys, here we go. All right, guys, so as you can see, I'm all done. If you have any crumbs on your paper, you can just kind of go like that, tap your paper, wipe those crumbs off. Sometimes if you wipe them like this, it works too, but you got to be careful that it doesn't smudge a lot. So, yeah, guys, you can see that this black pencil makes a big difference. It makes everything really stand out. It's a very important tip for you to take your time. There's no rush. Some people are like, oh, it just takes, you know, I got to do the drawing all over again. Well, guys, your drawing is very important. That's why you did it in the first place. It's also a great way to sign your artwork on the front. You can see that I signed it right here. You can also always sign it on the back. You can do both, guys. Like today, for example, let's see. This is 10/6/21. That's right. So anyway, I'll now know exactly when I made that if I look back on it several years later. So right now, to wrap it up, guys, I want to say, got shavings in your tray, throw them away. Get it ready for next time. Take those pastels, take a moment. Everything we're doing together here is about forming good habits so you have things ready for you. That way you don't have to like look for things and feel frustrated when the time comes, right? So pack up your things. I'm going to do that right now. And that way it's nice and flat. It's ready to put away. Here we go. Check it out, guys. Now I'm ready for next time. All right, friends. I will see you then.